The first reason why the OKC Thunder will dominate the Western Conference next season is because of Shai Gilgeous Alexander. In 2024, SGA averaged 30.1 points, 6.2 assists, and 2 steals on 53% shooting, leading OKC to become the youngest one seed in the history of the NBA. Shai is a unique scorer, opting to take less three-pointers in favor of more mid-range jumpers, which he makes at an incredibly efficient 50% shooting. Similar to DeMar DeRozan, Shai can score either with his back to the basket or on a face-up, like here where he completely loses Suggs on a turnaround fadeaway. Here he passes up the open three to get to his spot, using his height advantage over CJ McCollum. Shai really is a big guard, standing at 6'6" while having an elite ball handle and a jump shot. There's no real defender who can guard him with ease. Here faced up against the bigger Royce O'Neal, he uses his speed and a step back to get enough space to knock it down. Shai isn't just limited to mid-range scoring though, as he's also great at attacking the basket. As here he uses a pump fake to lose both defenders for an easy layup. Now Shai will attack the paint again, getting into his Kobe Bryant bag here to knock down the fadeaway. His layup package makes finishing look so easy, here fending off the bigger Onyeka Okongwu for an easy 2. SGA will use a variety of step backs, pump fakes, fadeaways, and pull-ups to create separation in the mid-range. And here with Keegan Murray, he creates enough space with the step back into a fadeaway. His bag is so simple but effective, making scoring look effortless. Here with DeAndre Ayton in prime position, Shai has enough body control to initiate contact and still finish through it, drawing the foul and one. Shai got to the free throw line nearly 9 times last season, which is outstanding for a guard. And for a guy who takes as much contact as SGA, he remains durable, only missing 7 games last season. Now in transition, Rui Hachimura is too late to come over and help, giving Shai a driving lane where he draws a foul and one. Out in transition, you almost have to guard him like he's Giannis, as Shai loves to find these openings in the defense where he can either get to it to hit a mid-range jumper or get right to the basket for 2. Here with PJ and Luka coming over to double and his teammates not making their wide open triples, Shai can still get his shot off. Here with the bigger Aaron Gordon, SGA goes right to his chest, creating enough room to finish the play. Shai is so good at using bumps to create separation, as here he gets space after bumping Morris, resulting in a turnaround jumper. Here PJ Washington tries to put pressure on Shai, guarding him 94 feet. However, SGA wasn't phased in the slightest, using a quick crossover into a burst of speed to get downhill into a Euro step tough finish. Shai is one of the smartest scorers in the game, knowing exactly what to do and when to do it, beating bigs off the bounce and shooting over guards. Shai will likely get even more possessions to create these kinds of looks, as if I was to predict his stat line for next season, I would expect an increase from the last, putting him somewhere between 30 to 35 points per game in 2025. The second reason why the OKC Thunder will be the best team in the Western Conference next season is because of the new additions. Over the course of the free agency period, OKC signed Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, while extending their sharpshooter Isaiah Joe. First, with Alex Caruso, their defense just got a whole lot better, now having a formidable defensive unit. But first, let's focus on what the new additions will give this team offensively. For Caruso, he's coming off the best shooting season of his career with the Bulls, attempting 4.7 threes per game while knocking them down at a 40% clip. Even though Chicago had a bad season as a unit, AC was their bright spot. For Hartenstein, he had a sensational season, starting the year as the backup, but once Mitchell Robinson was sidelined with a potential season-ending injury, he had plenty of opportunities to learn how to become a starting center. His playmaking and ability to make short-range floaters kept him as the starter once Robinson returned. And in the postseason, Hart made a name for himself, averaging 8.5 points per game with 7.8 rebounds, 3.5 assists on 59% shooting. His playmaking and rebounding in particular was of much interest for the OKC Thunder, as last season OKC were the 29th and 28th worst offensive and defensive rebounding team in the NBA. With these numbers set to go up, the Thunder will no doubt be a better team next season, having a clear vision on how this team wants to play. The third reason why the OKC Thunder will be dangerous next season is because of their defense. With guys like Caruso, Dort, and Chet Holmgren, who averaged 2.3 blocks per game last season, the Thunder have a very versatile defense. Similar to the Celtics, OKC have defenders that can guard 1 through 4 at nearly every position, and with no clear defensive weakness, I'd give them the best chance at the 1 seed next season. On the defensive side of the ball, Alex Caruso Caruso is as good as it gets in the NBA, as here he uses his lightning quick hands to poke the ball free from Jaden Ivey for some self-delivered room service. Even the game's greats aren't safe around Caruso, as here he perfectly reads LeBron's step through and strips him. Here RJ Barrett was too lazy with this entry pass, and you can't do that when you're matched up with Caruso, as Chicago get out on the break for 2. Here against OKC, it's Drummond that forces Ousmane Dieng to pick up his dribble, and Caruso is right there to poke it away from behind. Caruso is great at getting into passing lanes, as here he perfectly times this interception and then shows off his improved offensive game with this tough finish. Even when he's out of the play, he is not out of the play. Here Toronto are inbounding the ball and just need to catch it and get fouled. Caruso will first make a contest for the ball, and once he goes to ground, he still somehow manages to make Scotty Barnes second guess his pass and drop the ball, leading to a game-tying foul and 1. Here, Caruso is completely out of this play, and when Vucevic and Torrey Craig both commit to Cade Cunningham, it leaves Duren open in the lane. But before Duren can even get to the ball, it's gone. And later in the same game, he just does it again. Caruso is always right on point with his defensive rotations, as here he recognizes that Tim Hardaway Jr. is open in the corner and quickly jumps into the passing lane to come up with the steal. Even when he's in a mismatch, he's still able to make great defensive plays. Like here, where Aaron Gordon gets the inside position, only for Caruso to get the back tap once he turns around to score. But with his time with the Bulls, he was the lone defensive stopper in the starting lineup. But now playing alongside Dort and Holmgren, I'm not sure how teams are going to be able to score on this OKC defense. Here, Dort plays the smaller Anthony Simons, and once Kendrick Williams stunts over to force him to pick up his dribble, it's just cookies for Dort. Now imagine that's Caruso coming over to help Dort instead. Dort found himself matched up on guards a lot, as here with Jalen Green, he reads the crossover to perfection, forcing a turnover. But he didn't just do this once, but twice on Jalen Green. Lou Dort is also a great help defender, as here Wemby has the mismatch with SGA down low, and right as he begins his upward motion, here comes Dort to spike it away. And just like Caruso, even the all-time greats can't escape Dort, as Stephen Curry gets forced into a tough shot which he misses. It was clear that the Thunder were not confident in Giddey's ability to play solid defense, while also not wanting to risk SGA getting into foul trouble. And because of this, Dort often found himself matched up on guards this season. But now with Caruso in the fold, this will rarely happen, allowing Dort to defend players at his size and position, making him even more effective. But of course, he can still defend guards also, as here it's Trae Young, and when Dort doesn't bite on the jab, he tries a step back, which is rejected. Now with Anthony Edwards as the matchup, he perfectly moves his feet to stay in front and forces Ant to chuck up an impossible shot. Here it's Edwards again. Dort will slide his feet, but here Ant actually beats him, using some tough footwork and a pump fake. But somehow Dort is still able to recover to swat it away. Here Chet Holmgren turns the ball over, but Dort isn't interested in giving up on plays, so he makes a 90-foot dash to come up with the poke away on Cam Johnson. The OKC Thunder's big man depth is now elite, as with a likely starting combination of Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein, it won't get any easier for defenses to score on them either. Here Chet goes straight up against Murray, forcing the miss, and then on the second attempt he swats away the Johnson layup. Chet is an absolute block party, as here with Derrick Jones Jr., he meets him at the summit to turn him back. Now with the matchup on Wembanyama, who is trying to post him up, he perfectly jumps the passing lane to force the turnover. Now with the stronger Bam Adebayo matched up, he moves his feet well, forcing Bam into a tough shot. In help, he's also elite, here leaving Plumlee to block James Harden's layup attempt. This will be important next season, as with Hartenstein likely getting the primary matchups, Chet will find himself in the help coverage a lot this season. Here even Stephen Curry can't figure him out, as his drive finishes in a dead end. Even when the lane appears to be open, it isn't, as Anthony Black gets turned back. Here J-Dub falls asleep on the backdoor cut, but Chet is there to clean it up. Even when this defense makes mistakes, they can still come up with a stop. Sometimes Chet makes plays where I don't even understand what's going on, as here he uses both hands to send back Trey Murphy. The Thunder will likely have a top 3 defense again next season, and it's not hard to see why with these defensive monsters on your best scorers every single night. The fourth reason why the Thunder will be title contenders next season is because of Jalen Williams. J-Dub is the most underrated player in the league right now, as he's on a Kawhi Leonard-like trajectory. In year 1, he averaged 14 points per game, and this season those numbers went up to 19 a game. And if you look at the first couple of seasons from Kawhi, we see similar numbers once he got extended minutes. However, J-Dub's numbers are just better than Kawhi's at his age, as he's starting to become the real second option on this team. Just like Kawhi, J-Dub is a wing with the defensive tools and a go-to mid-range jump shot. In the mid-range last season, Jalen Williams was a sniper, as here with Josh Green on defense, he comfortably gets to his spot to knock it down. Even against an elite elite defender in Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's still able to get the angle to bank at home. J-Dub is already great at getting to his spots, here knocking down the elbow jumper over Smith Jr. Here he uses his size and strength to get the bump on Steph to pull up for two. Now with Josh Hart defending, he's still able to get to his spots to get a bucket. Now he will again use his strength to throw off Klay Thompson for an open jumper. J-Dub has an array of finishes that he'll go to, here floating at home off of one leg. J-Dub is also comfortable in pick and roll situations, here rolling into some space for a mid-range jumper. Now he sets it again with Chet, and this time fakes the pass, which has the Buck defender lost, resulting in an easy 2 points. Here J-Dub goes to work against Eric Gordon, again using his strength to create an opening. His offensive tools for his age have been very impressive, even catching the attention of LeBron James.
Or J-Dub, who's now turned into a great... He's
a star.
He's a star.
He's a star.
I told him too, I said, man, boy, you out here killing. He's like, man, I had a hell of a summer. And I said, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I said, man, hey, keep going, bro. You killing this shit. He was like, man, I had a hell of a summer.
With the OKC Thunder making great off-season moves, and with the young talent that they still have on the roster, could they win the title next season? Let me know in the comments below.